Emotional eating, signs you're doing it and how to stop doing it. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, and this channel is about mental health education and self-improvement. I publish videos every Wednesday, so if you don't want to miss one, click the subscribe button. Emotional eating is defined as overeating to deal with negative emotions. And our most common association with this is someone who's sad and eating a tub of ice cream to deal with it. And that's one example, but there's also a more subtle way that we connect our emotions to food. After all, the real purpose of eating is for nourishment, but have you ever eaten when you weren't hungry? Eating is a large part of our socialization. We go to fine restaurants to enjoy the experience, and not just because your stomach is rumbling. Here are some examples of emotional eating. Eating as a reward. This would be like having a celebratory dinner or treating yourself to something nice if you accomplish something. Stress eating. Do you need to eat something to help you think through something difficult? Eating to fight fatigue or boredom. Do you eat something when you're working on a tedious project? Eating for entertainment. Is that movie just not the same without that bucket of popcorn or box of M&Ms? If I go to a Super Bowl party, I expect wings, even if I just ate before I left. Just because you enjoy a nice restaurant or a celebratory dinner doesn't mean you have an eating disorder. But in all of these situations, eating becomes attached to something emotional rather than it just being for sustenance. And what this means is that anyone is vulnerable to eating in excess when it's based on an emotional reaction. So if you have a problem with eating in excess, you need to be able to recognize your triggers and learn how to manage them. So here are 3 tips to control your emotional eating. Number 1, know when you're really hungry. Sometimes hunger can be mistaken as thirst. So first, quench your thirst with something non-sugary to drink, and then reevaluate whether or not you're still really hungry. And also, you want to eat when you're hungry and not when you're starving. And remember, real hunger can be satisfied by anything palatable, so it doesn't have to be just potato chips or Doritos. Theoretically, even a carrot should satisfy real hunger. Number 2 is eat mindfully. I mentioned this in a previous video on mindfulness, and I'll put a link to it up in the corner. But what this involves is eating without distraction and focusing solely on what you're eating. So you want to think about the experience of eating. So that means no phones, you're not eating and watching television, and you're thinking about the texture of the food, the smell of the food, just the experience of it going down your throat, how many times you need to chew before you can swallow. Those are some of the things that you can think about as to direct you to be thinking about the eating experience and the eating process. Also, if you're eating with someone, don't eat while they're talking. And it has nothing to do with being respectful or anything like that. It allows you to pause and give yourself a chance to feel full. If you're eating alone, chances are you're not going to eat and pause. But if you're eating with someone, that's the perfect opportunity to eat slower and therefore ultimately eat less. So you may say, well, if I don't eat while they're talking, when am I going to eat? Okay, good point. The point here is that it's not a hard, fast rule that you can't ever eat while they're talking. It's just don't eat the entire time while they're talking. So you eat sometimes, then you talk while they're talking. Maybe this time you don't eat and wait, take a break. But the idea is that you're taking breaks while you're eating rather than just scarfing down your food, getting it done real quick, and increasing the chance that you're going to eat more than you really need to. The third tip requires a little more introspection, and it's to pause and think about what emotion you're experiencing before you eat or before you grab for the food. And this is especially the case if it's not a time that you would normally be eating. So if you do this and realize, well, actually you're bored, before you eat, take a quick break, 5 to 10 minutes, and break up the monotony of whatever it was you were doing. Maybe you take a walk around your home or go outside or something, get some fresh air. And then after that, doesn't have to take a long time, after that, see if you're still really hungry. And then also, if you are, I would take it a step further and give yourself the boring food test. So if you're not really a carrot eater, you're more of a Doritos eater, see if eating a carrot will satisfy that real hunger that you supposedly have. Let's recap those 3 tips. Make sure you're really hungry, so drink something to quench your thirst ahead of time. It also helps fill you up. Eat mindfully, so you're going to focus only on the eating experience. Think about every aspect of your eating. No television, no phone. And then address the emotion that you're experiencing before you're grabbing something to eat, especially if it's at a time when you're not normally having a meal. I hope this was helpful for you. Thanks so much for watching, and leave me a comment and share this video too. That'd be great.